All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. Happy Thursday on this Retrothon. My name is SuperSonic. I am back for my final run of the marathon, which is Animaniacs on the Sega Genesis. We're going to be playing through the easy mode difficulty. Without further ado, let's just go ahead and get things started here in 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so we're just going to skip this cutscene here. And we're going to escape the Warner Tower. So this is a 2D platformer with Sonic Hero style elements. So this intro stage basically shows how we control the characters, what abilities they do and such. So Yakko has the paddle ball, has the ability to push and pull heavy objects. Wacko has his mallet, in which he can break things and, set things on fire. And then Dot uses her charm on the male characters to kind of immobilize them. Yeah, very short intro stage, and now we're heading into our first studio, which is the Indiana Jones style studio. Gonna go ahead and give Squid of the good feathers to kind of kiss them away there. And we're gonna switch over to Dot. So there's gonna be a lot of character switching, and they all have like a static switching format. So you just go from Yakko to Wacko, then to Dot. You cannot switch between, like, let's say for example, Yakko to Dot or Wacko to Yakko, so on and so forth. It's all just a static change there. So this first scene, or like studio, it's pretty much an auto scroller. We kind of just jumped just to make sure that the alligator doesn't really charge too much, because it does create a little bit of lag. And for this section here, we're gonna have like an elephant pop up. We're just gonna whack him with the mallet just to send him back down a little bit. And then we're gonna be introduced with Ralph the security guard. We're gonna be seeing him a lot in this game, because he is like the main boss here. I'm gonna go ahead and get the screen transition right away. So now there's a door up there, but the switch is all the way down here, so we have to wait for the platforms to come back down. So once we see the platform get just roughly about halfway, we're just going to jump into this drill and just immediately climb up. Yeah, it's very easy to miss that cycle, but usually it's pretty lenient, but depending on how you jump across the platforms, don't miss it. And we got another cutscene, or not cutscene, auto scroller here. Have an ability, or the opportunity rather, to get your health back up. There's like these various fruit items and such. So you see on the top left corner of your screen, that is the health meter, although it's just a bunch of expressions. Whenever you get hit, they'll change expression. They're like, getting like sad or worried or something like that, or just completely dead. There will be some damage boost strats that we will be doing later in the game. For the time being, this is kind of like showing you the ropes of how the game works and everything. Okay, so we're just about done with this auto scroller section. So Wacko's going to be the star of this stage. Oops. Oh, excuse me, Ralph. Okay, that was a little unfortunate there, so I just got to take a damage boost. You can kind of see with Wacko, just kind of hit the seesaw there. My health is pretty low here, but I should be fine, because we're going to get a piece of chicken right here. There we go. We're going to switch to Yakko pretty quick to pull this away, and then immediately switch back to Wacko. Break this down. And we're going to remain as Wacko for the remainder of this level. Okay, so we're gonna hit the right switch here, which opens the door. We're gonna head into the boss fight, which is Ralph. So there's a way to stun lock him, as long as you're like right underneath. Also gotta watch out for that little debris there. But it takes 7 hits to kind of take him down. So pretty much what you do, you just wait for like one bounce that he does, and then you just kind of hit the thing again. And now we grab our first artifact, which is the Indiana Jones hat. So the plot of this game, the Warner Brothers and the Warner sister stole these movie artifacts, but then it got stolen from them. Well, at least that's what they think that happened, but apparently that the people in the studio were the ones that took it back. But so it's kind of like a battle between like the studio and then the characters. Now we are in our Star Wars or Star Trek level here. Gonna use Yakko to push that. We're gonna switch over to Dot to blow a kiss to Sully the God Pigeon. Or like if a lot of us have seen the cartoon before, like we have no idea what the God Pigeon was saying, but somehow the other birds knew what he was saying. I mean, all these years later, I still don't know what he's saying, so. He just speaks like mafia gibberish. So, oops. They get a jump up there. Gonna switch to Yakko here. Also, another thing to note: whenever you do a character change, like during a screen transition, if you end up seeing the portrait of their picture kind of like flash a little bit, that's when you know that the character change is successful. But if you end up doing that beforehand, then yeah, it's not going to change. So now we have like a bit of a waiting thing. You can actually break open those treasure chests to get some health and whatnot. Don't necessarily need to know, but we just have to wait it out. But with Yakko, we can just pretty much use the paddle ball to stun Ralph here. Like very ineffective against us here. And once we see the green get blue, I'm gonna let him get hit by an asteroid there. Okay, now we go into this section in which we hear Undertaker's gong. We're gonna set these blocks just so we can jump across here. I'm gonna try to go for a thing called life skip, which we got. So it just saves a lot of time compared to like having to go down and then just move things around. Because there are like a lot of puzzle elements here in this game. You got your platforming, your puzzle elements, RNG especially. Like when we get to the next stage, like we'll see a lot of RNG. So you saw Yakko pull out his paddle ball for like a moment. I'm doing a button buffer there. That's mainly to be able to grab the object to either push or pull it. So it's kind of like a nice buffer thing you can do. Only when you're pulling. Like if you're pushing, you don't have to like hold the A button for that. Like for this one right here. Now we gotta wait for this door to open. It is a very slow door. So we turn into Dot because she has a smaller hitbox. So we're gonna start moving right about now. And hello, nurse. It's the only time we see her, unfortunately. All right, now we got the chemical plant staircase here. Oops. These platforms are kind of weird, especially like with how they're like turning and such. But this should be fine right here. And with Wacko, we're just gonna break open this, hit the switch, and then jump into here. Gonna hit this cannon, and if you hold the jump button, you can actually get sent further out. That created a lot of lag there. It's always gonna be like that. And now, while we're walking across here, there are gonna be like 2 ice creams that are like above the fire. You kind of wonder how they're not melted yet, but they do increase our health, so which is good. We're gonna be back to full health right before we get to the boss fight. There we go. Now we got a Donkey Kong Jr. reference of this level. We're just gonna climb up. I can even like hear the stage in my head. Like all the sound effects that go off in that level. Yeah, I just gotta climb up here. Ralph can be in the way, but we can just kind of push him back down with the paddle ball. Kind of avoid all these obstacles here. Then we get to the end here. We can use the paddle ball to break the lights, and then there we go. We get our next artifact. Or movie souvenir, whatever you want to call it. Alright, so that's 2 stages down. Now we're going to be heading into the RNG heavy stage, which is the Western stage. You can kind of think of it like the, you know, the John Wayne or, like, you know, whatever like generic Western movie you can think of. Like Remember the Alamo, or in this case, Remember the Alamode. All right, so this section, we're just gonna wait for Ralph to, you know, kind of stop throwing his bombs or just have a horse headbutt him from behind like that. So we want to keep our health before a huge damage boost that's coming up. So we're gonna try our best not to get hit here. Then we're gonna see Mindy and Buttons. You could kind of save them together, but we're not gonna be doing that because that's too slow. So they're just gonna be separated. Now we're just gonna push this block right about here, switch over to Wacko. So I did that before the screen transition, so we had a successful switch. Hit open that a detonator to bring down the bridge, and then we're gonna head into the tavern. So right at the start, you want to jump just so the studio light doesn't hit you. Then we got Flavio and Marita, the dancing hippos, creating a ruckus. You know, they're hearing some music, so they got to dance around, and you know, they're pretty heavy, so they cause an earthquake and such. I'm gonna head up this section here. We're gonna see Mindy and Buttons again. And don't worry, no dog or child is harmed in the making of this video game. I was supposed to like stand on that barrel, but it's okay. Okay, now we're gonna switch back to Yakko. We're gonna take the damage boost right here. Otherwise, this would have been a huge puzzle section, which is really annoying. So that does deal 2 damage. So if I were to take another hit from these flames again, I could potentially die. So we're just gonna push this block here. Now we're gonna see another reference. This one's referencing Mega Man. We got the Yoku blocks here. Oh, we got like a really bad cycle there. Okay, I just gotta wait for that last one to show up here, and then we can move on forward. Very good. Alright, of course they have an extra life down there, but they're trolling you with flames, so like you're gonna end up dying anyway, so. You have like a lot of troll 1-ups. You know, typical Konami, because this is a Konami game. Alright, so we see Solly the God Pigeon again, then with Wacko, we're gonna hit that, and then jump right into the middle, so it skips that bottom section. So that saves a good chunk of time. Alright, now we got the boss fights coming up with, you guessed it, Ralph, yet again. So, this first phase here is very annoying, because you have to throw pies at him, basically. And this pie launcher is completely random. Even if you think that you have like a good angle of it or something, like it'll just bounce wherever it wants to. Like even if you try to put like a directional input on it. Yeah, see, like that should have hit Ralph right there. It's like the hitbox is very finicky on this. And you need to hit Ralph 5 times in this section in order to move on. See, that should have hit him. And then it just gets really frantic because you're like, you know, you're trying to hit him as fast as possible and he's just like avoiding everything. But like, think of it this way, like how is it possible for a big guy like that to move like so quickly, like on that little like handle train or whatever? Alright, there we go, we got him. Now we're gonna switch over to Yakko here just for a moment because we have to push a block and Yakko's the only one that can do that. And then this phase of the fight, this is all automated. However, there is this hole here that we got to launch into the exhaust pipe up there. That lid opens randomly. Like it is out of our control. There's really nothing we can do about it. We just got to hope and pray that it'll open up just so we can throw the coal in there. But aside from that, this section is automated. We want to see Ralph kind of like jump towards a train. But at the same time, he can still jump on it anyway, like if he's close enough. But if we're like further away and then we just kind of like wait for a certain amount of time, like he'll start like trying to jump towards it and then he'll just run on the train tracks. Like once we see that happen, that's when we'll know that we're at the end of the stage. So like right here, he just jumped, right? So now we just got to push this train to the right until it's like stuck like this. And we just stand up here. And then he'll just kind of trip and fall and then just give us the movie souvenir. So yeah, the most RNG heavy stage is out of the way now. And now we got the puzzle heavy stage. So this one here is the horror movie. So like, you know, Jason, Scream, whatever you... We got the Grim Reaper right here, but we're just gonna run him right into him. Take a damage boost. It only deals like 1 damage, so it's like nothing, not huge, not much of a big deal. But this here, I try to go for a hay bale skip. So what you needed to do there is once you get on that hay bale, you can actually switch characters and then like push the jump button or mash the jump button as fast as you can, so you can just skip this section. So this is a little bit of a time loss, which is okay. Yeah, it is possible to get over that hay bales. You know, huge shout out to Zero Counts for finding that strat. All right, so you just gotta push these blocks down to push the button, and yes, the trees are flipping the bird. So. All right, now we're into the haunted house. We just gotta watch out for these books because they just kind of float around wherever they want to. We're just gonna go ahead and switch over to Dot. Gonna see Dracula. There we go. If we didn't do that right away, then he would just be jumping around and shooting fireballs, and it's very annoying. So the earliest you can get him, like right as he spawns, like his hitbox is active, that's when you're able to kind of immobilize him there. That's not the last that we'll see of him. We'll see him again, like later in this level. So now we have Pinky and the Brain. They got their French horn contraption. We're just gonna wait this part out, or just tucking in these, I guess, vases or vases, and then, you know, plates and such. So they're trying their hardest to, you know, listen to that thing, but to no avail. Yeah, this puzzle, we're just gonna drop everything. And what's that gonna do is it's just gonna open up the left door, which is what we need. There is a timer here, which is pretty much out of our control. They do increase 100 in-game seconds, and like the score countdowns that we usually see, like after a stage, like they do take a while for them to count down. There's nothing we can do about that one. And for the second round of the puzzle, we'll just push everything where they need to go. That's gonna open up the right side of the door. Okay, just push this block down, just jump over it, and then just right down. Now we're in the sewer. You can kind of see there's a sign that says, like, you know, shows a skull, because they can't swim in the water. So if they go in the water, it's an instant death. There is actually a faster strat in which you can jump off that button there, but it is frame perfect and it's pretty rough to get, so it's just better to push the block there. We're just gonna drain the water right about here, and then we're forced to grab this 1-up. 1-ups also count towards your score countdown as well, like depending on how many lives you have. So usually, like the PB strats or like world record strats, you would actually take intentional deaths in the very first level to put your life counter at 0. So we're gonna switch over to Wacko here. So this is the boss fight. We got Dracula again. So he's always gonna jump to where you are across, and you kind of see like these floor panels. Like whichever one we hit, you'll see like the directions that they'll go. And we can pretty much stun lock him up here for 7 times. Just drop him on his butt, and then he'll drop the souvenir for us. Yeah, just like that. Pretty easy. And we get the Jason mask. Alright, so that's 4 studios down. Our next stage is also like another another reference to Mega Man. So we're pretty familiar with Wily stages in the Mega Man games, right? So we got a Wily stage in this one. So this is the Edgars, or the Oscars, like from the cartoon. And this throws everything at you. Like this is probably like the hardest stage of the game. But it is a pretty cool stage overall, though. Yeah, we're gonna be wacko here. Gonna be holding the jump button so we can get more height on this bounce here. And then in this section, normally they would want you to break the brown things on the left there, but we're not gonna be doing that. We're just gonna intentionally take damage boosts to keep the elevator moving upward. Okay, now we're gonna see Pinky and the Brain. We're just gonna go ahead and send them up there. Gonna go ahead and listen for an audio cue real quick. Right there. Yeah, those electric shocks don't even kill me because they blew it up and then it just does a little bit of a little bit of a delay there to kind of break away. Okay, so now we're just gonna be bringing these blocks here, just kind of set them away. And now we got the scariest section of the game, which is another the hippos. They're just on top of an apartment building and they're dancing and causing a ruckus, and we got to jump across these platforms, and below us is just a gigantic pit, so we don't want to die here. Gonna do an extra cycle skip. Oh gosh, okay. Saw Slappy kind of up there, you know, vibing. Okay, health is a little low, but we did make it across that scary section pretty well, so. Okay. Gonna head down here, light that up, and then it's gonna bring the staircase from the ceiling down. Okay, now we have this section here. The left side is instant death. So if you get caught by that or fall, yeah, you're instantly dead. So we just grabbed a little bit of a safety health there. Of course, the game tries to troll you by putting that one up there. We're not going to be falling for that. Okay, just open up these locks. Okay, open this one. We're going to switch back to Yakko here. For this section, the glass shards deal 2 damage. So we're actually like at danger health right now, but we're actually fine on that. Okay, now we got these fireballs. They're complete RNG. Also, another thing to note, if you die anywhere, it'll pretty much send you back to the beginning of the current screen that you're on. Like, right here. I'm dead, right? Back at the beginning of this screen. So I guess that's kind of nice to demonstrate there. But that's okay. I mean, it's not that much of a time loss. So this is actually going to create a lot of lag, but we have to break that fire hydrant. Otherwise, we won't be able to progress any further. And we don't have to worry about these fire hydrants here. We'll just damage boost through these. Okay, that's fine. Okay, we're at the last section here. There's Steven Spielberg. We're just gonna steal his car. And then we're gonna grab the Edgar and end the stage. So now, we're gonna see a 2-minute cutscene in which we cannot skip. Even though I'm pushing the start button right now on the controller, we cannot skip this. However, there is a way you can skip it. You have to beat the game 1 time through, and then when you're playing it the second time, you can actually skip this cutscene. But in speedrun.com, we don't have a category like that yet, so we're just basically sitting through the cutscene, and we kind of see that Pinky and the Brain was behind everything all along. Yeah, this cutscene is unskippable. I don't know, Bright. Processed cheese food. No, you dimwit. The movies. We will control people's minds by cleverly manipulating them. Movie icons that I'm reading faster than they're typing, so. So yeah, you can kind of think of it as like the Pinky and the Brain episode. You know, they're the ones that are trying to steal everything and take over the world as always. So it's up to us to stop them from doing that. It's like, we're not rats, we're mice. Are you pondering what I'm pondering, Pinky? So yeah, I mean, there's really not much to say here, but the boss fight that we're gonna be dealing with, it's like a like a gigantic Frankenstein robot that, Brain is the head of it, and then Pinky's like stuck in the like a pocket. So the way we're gonna do this boss fight, we're gonna start off with Dot first, and then we're gonna cycle through Yakko, Wacko, and then back to Dot. We're gonna do it in that order. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna have Dot immobilize Pinky by blowing a kiss to him, so that way when he brings out a bomb, it's not gonna light up. And then we switch over to Yakko to push the bomb close to the boss, and then switch to Wacko to blow it up. So that's what we got to do. All right, so here we go. This is the robot that we got to take down. Immediately switch to Dot here. So I'm gonna time this a little bit right about here. There we go. So now he's bringing out a bomb, not lighting it up. Then we just push it with Yakko, rinse and repeat. That's all we gotta do. There could be instances where the boss will like jump up to the bar up there, and that does waste time. But we don't want him to do that. Okay. All right, so that's phase 1. We got phase 2 coming up. So now the legs will be roaming around aimlessly, but the leg can also damage like the top half of the boss, like so. Try to hit him with that. There we go. Got a few more hits remaining. Don't want that to go too far now. There we go. So now we just gotta wait for the legs to kick the heck out of the top half. Then we're gonna grab all 5 of the movie collectibles, and then time will be when I grab the last one. And 1, 2, 3, 4 time. There we go. Then we get our last score countdown here. Okay, you can kind of see like get a lot of points because we had so many 1-ups at our disposal. But yeah, that is Animaniacs on the Sega Genesis. I got in 27 minutes, so that's not too bad. Not too many major mistakes there. But yeah, that is my final run of Retrothon this week. Huge thank you to the RGL crew for having me play like 5 different runs for this marathon. And I mentioned it before that this is actually my favorite time of year, because I am a retro speedrunner by heart. And huge shout outs to them, and also shout outs to all the runners that are taking part of it. But we still got plenty of marathon left, so let's stay tuned for the next run, and we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.